Hi guys, welcome to episode 2 in the music production and arrangement series. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the basic building blocks of music. In the last episode, I just wrote a simple 8-bar melody and orchestrated and arranged it in a very simple way and showed you guys. But here we're going back to the basics. So in this episode, what we're going to talk about is notes, scales, and chords. And what are these things and how these are the building blocks in arranging and producing any kind of music. Before we begin, let me just address two simple things. It's raining pretty heavily outside. It's not in my control. So if you see a lot of noise for that, so please forgive me. And I'm not using the green screen because I'm shooting this on my webcam for ease. So if the video quality is slightly low, so please bear with me for that. But it's easier for me to shoot this way. Now, without further ado, let's just get into our DAW, which is Ableton for me, and let's just get right into the video. Okay, so if you see here, I have my Ableton open and I've already made 3 tracks. I have basic chromatic scale and notes on one. I have a scale on the other, and I have some chords in the third one. So let's go in that order itself. So what is a note? Basically, it's just a pitch, right? Any pitch that you sing or play or any tone, one single pitch is a note. That's it. So ah would be a note. Ah would be another note. Would be another. It's like that, right? So that's it. So if you have ever seen a keyboard instrument like a harmonium or a piano, you know that there are 7 white keys and 5 black keys. You can see it on the screen here as well, right? So these are pitches. So every music, anything you hear on earth is made out of these 12 pitches. There is a slight exception to that in Indian music and in some other Eastern traditions. People sing between these notes as well, right? Which is called Shruti. But for the most part, most of music is made up of these 12 notes. And if you play these 12 notes in order, it's called a chromatic scale. Let me just play that once for you. Right? So that's the 12 notes that music is made out of. Here, I've started from a C and played it till an upper C. So you have all the 12 notes. Okay, so next thing is a scale. A scale is nothing but a reference, right? You pick 6 or 7 notes out of these 12 and you make a scale. And then you make a melody or a tune inside that scale. So that's a reference. The first note of the scale is called a tonic note or a root note. It's called a tonic or a root note because when you go to the other notes in the scale and you come back to that note, it gives you a feel of completion, of coming home. That is why it's called a home key as well sometimes. So I already have a scale here for you guys. It's based on C, and this is a major scale. Now, how I came up with this scale, right? So if you see there is a C, then you skip one note and go to the next note. So there's a difference of 2 half steps or half notes. So it's a whole note. So one whole step, another whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and half step, and back to C. This is how you form a major scale. So a major scale gives you a kind of a happy mood or a happy, cheerful feeling. It's just a vague, broad idea. You can indeed make sad songs out of a major scale as well. But as a rule of thumb, it is a happy scale. Let's hear the C major scale. Right? This is a very basic scale in Indian. It's called Saregama, right? So this is a simple C major scale. Now, say the singer who has come to sing the song doesn't want to sing in C, right? They want to sing it in D. How will you know what the D major scale is? Simply take all the notes, start the same relationship from D. So this is a D major scale. Let's see how this works. So the notes are different, but the relationship between notes is what gives the identity to the scale. So this way you can actually try and figure out all the different major scales. Now, say we have to have a sad song, right? We're writing a sad song and we want to do it in a minor scale. So how do we do that? We have a major scale here, right? From here, I want to make a C minor scale. There's a simple trick and a formula for that. All you have to do is flatten the third note. So instead of a E, we have a E sharp or an E flat. And then instead of A, we have G sharp. And instead of the B, we have a A sharp or B flat. Right? That's it. So if you play this, it sounds something like this. So if you listen to this, it doesn't sound like the C major scale, right? It sounds a bit dark, bit melancholic, or even a bit sad, I would say. So a lot of sad songs are made using the minor scale. But again, people can make happy, dreamy, any kind of music using the minor scale as well. It's just a rule of thumb. It depends upon the ability of the songwriter or the composer who comes up with the tune, how he uses the notes of the scale to convey what he wants to convey. So now we've seen what modes are, and now we've seen what scale is, a very basic idea. There are many different types of scales, but we've seen what a major scale is and what a minor scale is. Now, what are chords? You often hear, right? Chord progression. They played this chord under that. They played this chord in that melody, and that is why it gives a specific mood or a feeling. So let's understand what a chord is. A chord is nothing but a couple of notes played together or in a particular sequence, which resonates in a certain way with some other note. It's simply multiple notes being played together, जहाँ कान को खराब नहीं लगा. In other words, a multiple notes played together where it doesn't sound very dissonant. In some forms of music, dissonance is encouraged, like jazz, right? But let's see what are the chords within these scales that we discussed. So here, I again have the C major scale. So if you see C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, the lowest line, if you see, it's again the C major scale, right? What have I done? I have placed two more notes upon each note. So this is a simple form of a chord. A chord can have multiple notes. You can have a 6-note chord, 7-note chord, 10-note chord also. But the simplest form of a chord is a triad because it has 3 notes, right? And how did I know these chords were in the C major scale? You simply take one note and you add alternate notes from the scale to that note and you get a chord. So here I have C. I took E from here and G from here. So C, E, and G, if I place it vertically, it's a C major chord. If I take D and say F and A and play here, it's a D minor chord, right? So that's how you form chords from the notes within the scale. Now let's hear all the chords in the C major scale. Then I'll tell you what type of chords they are. So the first chord, right, is simply a C major chord because it is the first chord in the C major scale. Second is a D minor chord. Then you have an E minor chord. Then you have a F major. Then you have G major. Then you have A minor. And the seventh chord is a bit tricky. It's a diminished chord. We'll not get into that now. So it's B diminished and then back to C major. So if you are making a melody or any tune in C major, you can use these chords to support the melody underneath. Now, let's look at the chords in the minor scale. So C minor, right? I already have it here, right? So again, if you see the lowest line, it's just the C minor scale, right? C, D, D sharp, F, G, G sharp, A sharp, C, right? Again, how did I come up with the chords? Alternate notes. So I took C, D sharp, and G. Sorry about that. Let me add the D sharp again here. So it's C, D sharp, G, right? So if you play them vertically, it's a C minor chord. So again, let's hear all the chords and then we'll talk about the nature of the chord. Right? So of course, if you have guessed already, like the C major scale, the first chord was C major. Here it's C minor scale, first chord C minor. Then the next chord starts with D. So it is D diminished. Yes, in the major scale, the seventh chord is diminished. Here, the second chord is diminished. So D diminished, D sharp major, F minor, G minor, G sharp major, A sharp major, and we again have C minor. So these are the chords in the C minor scale. Again, if you're making a melody in C minor, you can use many of these chords appropriately to support your melody. So that's all I wanted to say in this video. Hope it was informative and instructive for you. I think the basics of what notes are, chords, and scales are, uh, you have a very basic faint idea. Right? There are many different type of chords, many different type of scales, but I didn't go into many details in this particular video, but I just wanted to give you a rough idea about what notes, chords, and scales are. Hope it was helpful. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, leave a like, check out our stuff on my channel. If you like any of that, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. I need all your support for that. Thanks for bearing with the low video quality and the rain. It's out of my control, and I'm grateful that you watched it till the end. If you want to tell me anything good, bad, ugly, put that in the comment section down below, or you could simply DM me on Instagram, and you'll find the handle in the description as well. With that being said, also let me know what kind of videos you want to watch. If there are any doubts respect to this video, put that in the comments as well. And if you want to see a specific music production kind of video, let me know. I'll try and make that video for you as well. Be safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.